Hey everyone, this is Chris, and you're listening to One Cross Radio. And today we are joined by nobody. It's just me. Except in the background, you will hear the always present Luna. She's of course with us and currently drinking. She was just a really good girl. Let me brush her teeth. So then afterwards she gets treats because she's such a good girl. Sorry, she was around and I loved loving on her. Anyways, today will probably be one of my shorter episodes, but it's still something I wanted to do. I just finished watching for the first time in ages, to me, the wonderful film, The Lost World: Jurassic Park. It's one that Mike and I have talked about in the past, way back when we did our sequels, prequels, reboots, and remakes, or actually no, not reboots and remakes. I think we did. I know we did something about reboots, remakes. Maybe we did sequels in that one too. Anyways, we were talking about sequel. There was a section where, it was sequels, reboots, and remakes. I remember because I did 2 title slides for it. One that just never got released. The one that never got released was a collage with posters from the Halloween franchise, because that one had a plethora of sequels, a reboot, and has also been a remake? Question mark. Yeah. So actually, a remake, the terrible Rob Zombie one, and then the reboot being the most recent one called Halloween. It's a reboot in the sense of it's a sequel to the original, but disregards everything after the original. So the original Halloween 2 never happened. And the next Halloween movie will also be Halloween 2. It'll be the third Halloween 2, and oh my goodness, this franchise is ridiculous. But anyways, I digress. Back to The Lost World. Mike and I both expressed our fondness of it when we did that other podcast episode. It's to me, it's one that gets a lot of unnecessary flack. It is a great sequel. To me, it's not as good as the original, and that's not a charge I'm going to put up against it. Like, few sequels are on par or better than the original. There are of course exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, sequels aren't better. Most of the time, they're insanely worse. But in my book, this is a good sequel. I was actually texting Mike as I was watching it. One of the things I love about this movie is its pacing. In its first 20 minutes, it establishes the Site B, the second island. It establishes a good concrete reason to need to go there. It introduces the characters, so we know where they stand, and then we'll see them grow or not throughout the movie. But it does a lot in 20 minutes. It gets you off to the races, and legit at the 1955 mark, you are on the boat approaching Isla Sorna. It does a heck of a job of just hitting the ground running, but not feeling like you're running a marathon. It's not dense. It's brisk, but in the good kind of way. It's brisk in the sense of in 20 minutes, you've got all your setup and you're getting to the island. Like, it's not brisk in the, oh man, I wish we stopped and smelled the roses along the way, because there's nothing really to stop and smell. Of course, who wouldn't like to know more about Lex and Tim, but they're not integral to this story. I really like this movie. I know the last time I talked about a Jurassic, it was to rip it to shreds, because still I stand by Bex that Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is terrible. Steve, when we were recording the podcast, the Star Wars one with our amazing wives Jill and Becky, he had asked me which one did I think was worse, Jurassic Park 3 or Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I don't know. Both are worse. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is definitely dumber. It's a lot dumber. But Jurassic Park 3 is still terrible. But I digress. Back to a good movie, The Lost World. I just in the past couple days I've been on a Jurassic Park kick, if you will. I even downloaded the free trial of Audible so I can listen to both the original novel and then the sequel novel while I'm taking Luna out for long strolls. I've read both of these books. I read Jurassic Park in high school and I loved it. I would still love a film based on it. But again, you'd be in R-rated territory. So maybe it's something you could drop on a streaming service. But it's increasingly less likely. I thought after Fallen Kingdom, they were kind of like, all right, we're maybe done. But I've recently discovered just how big and deep the fandom for Jurassic Park goes. It shouldn't have surprised me, but there's, of course, like the Jurassic podcast. Is it Kevin Fione or let me see. Yeah, there's the Jurassic Park podcast. Any number of podcasts. Clayton Fioriti. I can't pronounce his name, but he's got a great channel on YouTube, which is great to go down the rabbit hole because he shows stuff from the books. He shares his opinion. Guy gets some deep cut references to, frankly, the terrible Jurassic Park comics, but then also children's books, toys. He covers a lot of questions, and then it's really, really interesting. And it's through him and some of these other things that made me like. I've always loved the first novel. I haven't been as big on the second novel because the second book, I don't want to say it was a cash grab or anything. I'm not trying to disparage the late Michael Crichton, but it was there's points where it's kind of like Malcolm died in the first book, or so we thought. And if I'm remembering correctly, the intro to him being alive, it's like, and I was dead, kind of, and then they kind of carry on, and that's just not as satisfying. But through Mr. Clayton and these other podcasts, it's inspired me to revisit the films, and the first two films I love. Now, Jurassic Park and The Lost World, there's a huge difference in quality. That's not to knock The Lost World. The Lost World, to me, is a great film. But I'm now wanting to give the novel a second chance, so an audiobooks might be the way to go. I'm really not talking much about the movie, because I guess I don't have the issues with it that people do. I remember as a kid when people were like, as I hear now, people being like, oh, the Rex in San Diego was so stupid. I loved that as a kid. Heck, I still love it. I remember seeing the first Jurassic Park and then being petrified for a long time because, like, the next week, the maintenance in my townhouse complex changed all the door handles from knobs to handles that looked like the ones the raptors opened. So I would book it up the hallway, especially at night, terrified raptors were going to come get me. But then, of course, like as a kid, after you saw dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, it would be like your imagination of them interacting with like a city, a modern world. Heck, I always remember like even being a little kid, just getting scared, but also thinking how awesome it would be if you were in the subway tunnel. Now, for me, most often that would be Main Street Station. No reason to plug that other than I want to. Shout out to East York. As I was in Main Street, it would just be like you'd hear the train coming, you wouldn't always see the lights right away, and it's like, man, what if like a bunch of like 4 raptors just ran out of there? So as a kid, like that's scary, but also awesome. And then when you're watching the flick, and you get to the end, and the Rex shows up on the mainland, that was friggin' awesome. People who were complaining about it, I'm like, we're watching a very different movie. Because I love this. And even as an adult, when I see people complain about it, I'm like, it's still awesome. It's tight. Yeah, sure, Spielberg indulges himself a little bit. He deliberately did that zoom in on the Japanese people running, but it turns out Mr. Spielberg was a fan of classic Godzilla monster movies, so that was his homage to that. And yeah, people are acting dumb, but to me, it makes sense. It works with the logic of the movie at that time. One scene that gets criticized a lot with the Rex on the mainland, but I love it, is when the Rex is chasing Malcolm and Sarah through the warehouse district as they're heading back towards the docks. Or it's technically the warehouse is on the dock district. Anyways, you get this shot of like, I don't know, 4 or 5 police cars and then a van with cops presumably in the back pulling up, and the Rex is chasing the car, and then it sees them, so it just stands and roars at the police cars, and then the police cars turn around, like, just completely stop as they see this thing, and then they all reverse and get the heck out of there. And some people are like, that's really dumb, they should have got out in the car and showed it. And it's like, are you kidding? That makes perfect sense to me. If I was in any way a police officer or whatever, and I see a giant dinosaur, you bet I'm turning around. And also, it's funny, and it's not like, it's not pandering funny. I watching the flick on Prime, I rewound that scene a good 3 times and just laughed every time. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, the cops are like, nope, 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 nope. And that's relatable. It's relatable as it is funny. I don't get the hate this flick gets. It's, to me, a great follow-up. It is in no way better than the original, but it's also not trying to be. I don't think you can call this movie Jurassic Park a second time. It's not just redoing the plot of the first one. Now, yes, there are numerous similarities. That has been a problem for the Jurassic franchise, except for where we're at now, which I'll touch on in a few minutes, I guess. But a big problem is, okay, they go to the, people go to an island, dinosaurs break loose, you need to get airlifted off the island. That's a problem all the Jurassics have. Now, the first is the exception, because it's the first. It can kind of get away with it. But it's not like they're not in cages. They're not repeating plot points. There's not even that many direct homages to the first one, with the exception of the Rex's stepping and then the water and the footprint and all that. And a couple musical cues, which, by the way, John Williams' score for this is outstanding. Spielberg deliberately wanted to make this darker, and it worked. It was a darker movie. The first one had a lot more awe, and then crap hits the fan. This one, you've got Malcolm being so jaded from the last one, which to me makes sense, but still being Malcolm, still ready to shoot people down, being the know-it-all that he is, because he's right. Seriously, they could just re-release Jurassic Park 1 and 2 and call it Malcolm Was Right. And he's just jaded from the first one, which makes sense. And then they establish early on that, like, his credibility in the scientific community has been shot. Nobody takes him seriously. Everybody thinks he's a joke. So of course he's going to be jaded. And then jaded about the island and all that. And then people try to say, oh, this character is very different than he was in the first movie, which Mr. Clayton pointed out in a great video that halfway through the first movie, around the time after the Rex attacked him, this is very much that Malcolm from the second half of the first movie. Just so snippy, so on the ball. And Jeff Goldblum's great. Jeff Goldblum's great in this. You can criticize the kid piece, I get it, but that's also Spielberg. Heck, that's something that's still going on through these movies. This is a part of the Jurassic DNA. It might not be something I want, but it's something that's there. And yeah, sure, the gymnastics scene was dumb. Okay, I'll go with one criticism that I'm like, all right, yeah, no, I can roll with that one. But it is what it is. The rest of the stuff around it is, to me, fine. There's a lot of great scenes, great moments. Nick Van Owen, played by Vince Vaughn, works. I was like, oh wow, even every once in a while when I watch this, I was like, I kind of miss this Vince Vaughn, like Vince Vaughn before he became Vince Vaughn. And Nick Van Owen, yeah, you can debate, screws them over because the characters make stupid mistakes in this, but at the same point, I think that's fair. We humans are really stupid, and we make a lot of mistakes. And in this movie, in this franchise, we made big ones, bringing back dinosaurs, and then people are dumb, and that carries over into these movies where it's easy for us to be like, well, yeah, I wouldn't do that, but in certain situations, no, you're not always going to be thinking straight. And the most obvious thing, like wearing a jacket with baby Rex blood on it, is going to slip your mind. Because at that point, you're thinking about survival and not always thinking like, oh crap, the thing I'm wearing is going to kill me. Because, things around you are trying to bite you and eat you. I dig this flick. It's incredibly solid. The pacing is really, really good. It's entertaining. And I guess that's what I want out of this. It succeeds where Jurassic Park 3 fails, because it still has a bit of a story. It's not just like, okay, they're on the island to get the kid. There's a little bit of speculation stuff, but we don't dive in. As these people are fleeing the dinosaurs, it's like Hammond has gone a complete turn in the Lost World, where he's gone from capitalist to naturalist. And he's still John Hammond, because in the movies he's the kind old man, whereas in the book he was a jerk, and he died in the first book. Spoiler, but it's been out for a long time. This is not on me. He's lost control of InGen because of what happens at the beginning of the movie. I'm not sure if Ludlow is his son or his nephew who has usurped control, basically. And you're seeing other mistakes, and you're seeing other things going on. You have a bunch of interesting characters, not just annoying, shouting Tay Leone parents. No offense to Tay Leone. I'm sure she's a great actress. I've heard of other performances she's done great, but I hate her character in Jurassic Park 3 so much, and it's difficult for me to separate her from her character. It's just one of those things. Hopefully it'll happen sometime, because I like enjoying people and not just always thinking of them as their terrible characters who should have died. Seriously, Jurassic Park 3, you suck. Except you bring back Alan Grant, so that's great. I can't think of much that I would change about The Lost World. I find it really, really solid. It's a great sequel. It's its own thing. It's not trying to be Jurassic Park. The Rex parents scene when the Rex first show up is outstanding. The long grass sequence is wonderful. The Compies attacking Dieter is great. Spielberg does a lot of great film tricks that you didn't even see in the other one. I can't think of a gaping hole that it still bothers everybody, and it's fair. And that's the thing from the SS Venture when it crashes with the Rex on it. The crew's dead. We have no idea. Now, I know the Clayton guy from YouTube, check out his channel if you want to learn more. It is a great spot to go. This guy dives deep into various, like, The Lost World had apparently like 3 or 4 screenplays before they settled on the official one. Unlike Jurassic Park 3, which settled on one and then abandoned it 5 weeks before filming, and then was filming without a script, and it shows. In one of the earlier screenplays, in one of the sequences, it explained what happened. And it was heavily implied, like there was a hole in the ceiling of the main, I don't know what you call it, but the bridge, I guess, where the captain does the steering and all that, where the dude's hand was attached. It's like the camera, I guess, was supposed to pull back, and you'd see a hole in the roof, like basically showing it was a T-Rex, and they lured it back down. They lured it back down to the storage part. And that would have been nice, or if it was the Raptors, because there was also some released artwork, but you don't know the context of it, of a raptor lurking towards somebody in a really wet-looking place. And that could have also followed up something from the original novel, where in the original novel, raptors had been sneaking on to the ships that were ferrying people to the mainland. So that would have been a nice nod to it. Because this movie also has numerous things that got left out of the first book. The Compies being one of them. And then the birdcage sequence from Jurassic Park 3, which I'll give it credit. That part was a good scene. That was also from the first book. A lot of what was in the second book was not here. And at points it's because it retreaded some stuff. Malcolm gets injured again, gets hopped up on morphine again, and for chapters at a time goes on morphine-induced rants about why everybody but him is wrong, basically. Which, if you've got Goldblum doing that, sign me up. I'd be in. But there's a lot of differences between the book and the novel. The book also has some really dark deaths. Now, Eddie Carr's death. Oh, I got to talk about that scene leading up to Eddie Carr's death. Like, as the trailers are hanging off the edge, I love that scene. That is a masterstroke in suspense building, because one thing after the other, after the other, after the other keeps going wrong. The trailers get knocked over. You think that's fine. Fine. The glass breaks. Sarah is saved. Eddie shows up to help them out, but then the trailer starts sliding. As the trailer starts sliding, he gets a rope together, gets it to them. He gets them the rope, and then the trailer starts sliding. As the trailer's sliding, he's trying to tie it to the winch or whatever the heck you call it, with the metal cable attached to his Jeep. As he's doing that, the rope breaks, or the rope comes undone, and then it's like he gets the winch or whatever the heck it is, the iron thing attached to the front of the bus, the trailer. Sorry, he gets attached to the front of the trailer. Then he's got to retie the rope. As he's retying the rope, he sees the trailer is now pulling the Jeep over the cliff. And then as this is going on, Malcolm, Nick, and Sarah are trying to climb the rope, but then the rope breaks, and then they're trying to climb, and then they're slipping because it's soaking wet rope. And it's just really well done scene. And then as Eddie pulls the things back to save them, the wrecks show up and just destroy his Jeep. And then also, one of my favorite kills in the whole franchise, like, rip the dude in half. Like, it could have been a lot more brutal. It wasn't. It was really well done. But still, you're like, eeh, poor Eddie. He was a good guy. Yeah, I really enjoyed his performance. The banter they had between Malcolm and these guys, because in the first one you see Malcolm, like, Malcolm really hitting on Sattler and then combating with Hammond. And this Malcolm is very driven. He's driven to go back and get his girlfriend Sarah from the island. He's driven to get Kelly and Sarah off the island. So he's just not a jerk, but really giving Eddie and Nick the hard time. And they give each other the hard time. But it's I was catching stuff that I hadn't caught before, and I was like, man, I appreciate this, because it's something that would happen if such a situation ever happened. All right, so that about does it. I did say I was going to talk about where the franchise is at now. So, a couple months ago, a short film by director / Jurassic overhead producer with Mr. Steven Spielberg, Colin Trevorrow. I'm not sure if he's directing the next one or if someone else is, but he's really, really involved. They dropped the short film Battle at Little Rock or Battle at Big Rock or something. 8-minute short film. I had forgotten stuff from at the end of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom because I hate that movie because it's terrible. But the end of that movie, dinosaurs are now out on the mainland. This takes place, I want to say 5 or 6 or 8 or something months after, like within a year. People like it follows a family that's camping. People are up, but they've become aware of whispers and everything of dinosaurs. There's a baby dinosaur, a baby ceratops, or I'm getting that wrong, but I can't remember what one it was. But the first dinosaur born in North America, in the United States, and it's family's camping. There's a baby, and a fully grown Allosaurus shows up and does what predators would do, tries to kill the baby. Then the parents show up and save the baby, but then the Allosaurus is trying to get at people. And then it's establishing, like, this is the reality. Dinosaurs are now in the world. They're being spotted. They're out in the wilderness because, of course, they wouldn't go to like downtown New York. But then towards at the tail end of the movie, it's all like found footage, like people's cell phone cameras and stuff. I think there was something. Oh no, not involving the Rex. Like cars are driving, and then out of the wilderness to cross to another side, Stegosauruses just start crossing and end up knocking a car over at the edge of a cliff. At a wedding, as they relieve the doves, pterodactyls swoop down and grab the doves. And then also there's footage of a shark breaching and getting a seal, but then Mosasaurus breaching and getting the shark and the seal. And that is interesting territory, because now we're at a point where nobody's going to the island. Basically, the island has been brought to us. Other dinosaurs are in Russia, Japan, other places. Presumably, people are either trying to create their own, or, as has been pointed out so many times throughout this franchise, life finds a way, and then they're repopulating, and dinosaurs are spreading. The cast will be, I know, I can't remember the name of the actor. Oh, B.D. Wong, Henry Wu will be back. Bryce Dallas Howard will be back as Claire, and Chris Pratt will be back as Owen, but also the big three of Malcolm, so Jeff Goldblum, Grant, Sam Neill, and Sattler, Laura Dern, will be back in feature major roles, Colin Trevorrow has said. So, as much as Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had soured me and made me think, you know what, like maybe this franchise is better done, let's get to the Jurassic, like do not a reboot, not a remake, because the original film is perfect, just do an adaptation of the book. I'm now interested to see where we're going to go. And unlike Star Wars, which just said like the concluding thing of the Skywalker saga, so you know there's going to be more Star Wars, Jurassic Park has not had one solid story carrying through. They're separate stories. That's why whenever marketing is like, oh, it's the trilogy, it's the quadrilogy. No, it's not. It's a franchise with 4, now 5 bloody standalone movies. It's they've said like the next installment. They've also gone on to say like there's going to be a Netflix show, Lego shorts, new video games, new books, new comics, other short films, and other ideas. So I'm interested. It just depends on how well the next one goes. The idea of dinosaurs spreading and potentially taking over, I'm not gonna lie, that interests me, guys. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. I definitely rambled, but if it's been a while since you've checked it out, toss on The Lost World Jurassic Park. I really doubt you'll regret it. It's got, again, some great themes, some great science fiction stuff. It, again, touches on it touches on the ideas of playing God, not to the extent that the first one does, but it's the repercussions of someone playing God numerous times. It's interesting. There's some great heavy themes to it, but it is also something you can just sit back and enjoy. All that being said, hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you really did and you feel, hey, I can financially support you somehow, please feel free to hit up our Patreon. I'll be putting the link in the description. There's 3 tiers. $5 a month, $15 a month, or $25 a month. Each tier has some really sweet motivations to it. You can also hit us up on our Ko-fi site if you'd rather do a one-time donation. With those donations, all the money would legit go towards the website, which is now onecrossradiopodcast.com, and go towards website expenses, podcast expenses, so we can get more equipment, so we can get better equipment, so we can do more with YouTube, so we can do more and more features. It's just they cost money. And I am but a housing worker and a part-time one currently. So if you guys can. If not, no sweat, no worries. This isn't to put anything on. And I admittedly, I feel weird asking. I've said to a couple people, I've been a missionary. I've been an urban missionary. And to that, I had no problem approaching people and having the money conversation. Here, I know I'm creating audible content. but it's still kind of like, hey, pay me. It's weird, but if you can, if you feel, if you think you can, if you feel you can, please hit me up. Also, another way you can support is hit up our Redbubble. We have some really awesome shirts, a great hoodie, coffee mugs, travel mugs. That's a way you can support us, but also get some really good stuff. This isn't me shilling. I have a hoodie from Redbubble. It is legit one of my favorite hoodies to wear, and it's super duper comfortable. The travel mug is great. It keeps your hot drinks hot and your cold drinks cold. Redbubble is great for even non-R stuff. Every shirt I've gotten through Redbubble, or coffee mug, including the wonderful Redeemed Otaku coffee mug I have, it's all great stuff, and it's not too expensive. That's not just for me, that's across the website. So check out Redbubble, check out our Redbubble. All that being said, sorry for that long commercial. Thank you for your love and your support of One Cross Radio. Some more changes will be coming to the podcast this year. If they haven't already happened, which shows I'm recording now. Truthfully, I'm recording while we're still on break. I'm not sure when this will be up. It'll be one of our earlier episodes, but I've got another couple lined up and ready to go. But I can't wait to share this one. And yeah, Happy New Year. Love you guys. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for your prayers. I'm praying for all of you, and God is awesome. Jesus is wonderful. And I love you guys. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful day, and God bless, my friends. Take care. Peace.